There are no TED Talks in Yemen. There are no Youth for Climate demonstrations in Syria or in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Congo. Because underneath those wonderful demonstrations, mostly by young people, lies an essential foundation. It's called peace. And for us, peace is there every day. To us, it's become like water, always present and therefore underappreciated and taken for granted. It should not be taken for granted because it is the foundation of everything else. Now, peace, like love, is a noun, right? But peace, unlike love, is not a verb. Peace has to become a verb, because inside a verb you have the dimension of taking action, of doing. To peace, or not to peace. Now imagine one day in the nearby future, all people of the world telling each other, "We peace you." How wonderful would that be, right? I'm Gert Olefs, and I'm on a global mission to create world peace by 2035. Now, I made it my mission on the 21st of September 2017, when I created the non-profit organization called World Peace 2035. You go on Facebook, you can easily find us. Okay? Thank you. Now, we have one goal. It's very clear and it's very ambitious. It is to eliminate warfare as a means of solving all large-scale conflicts between countries, within countries, or between large populations. Now, you may wonder, how do you create peace? And I get this question very often. So I've been thinking a lot about that. Well, you start with the beginning. And it's the same as with everything else. If you want to achieve something, you have to make it an objective. And you have to give it a timeline, right? Well, it's no different with peace. If you want to achieve world peace, you have to make it an objective. And believe it or not, it is no objective by any organization in the world today. And it certainly is not an objective with a due date, 2035. So that's what we've done when we started the non-profit. We've turned world peace from an elusive dream that we have strived for thousands of years into a very, very specific goal right in front of us. Now, that is the first part of starting the project. It is giving it a due date and making it an objective. The rest is then to work on the external and on the internal part of peace. Now, the external part, that is about United Nations. It is about the geopolitical world. It is about, you know, all the countries of the world, the politicians, the diplomats. Now, I don't want to talk about that world and that external peace here amongst you, although it is a very important dimension. Here, I want to focus on creating internal peace, the other dimension of making peace, because it is an essential dimension. And I speak from experience that when you want to create external peace, you will have to embark on the most exciting journeys of all journeys. I call it the Star Trek within. To boldly go where we have never gone before, inside ourselves. And when you do that journey, you will go, or you will have to have two crucial steps. And the first step is to meet the most important person of your life. It is called the person in the mirror. Now, I met my man in the mirror about 5 years ago. And it was the time when war had started in the east of Ukraine. And dead children started washing up on the beaches of the Mediterranean Sea. Can you imagine? People have holidays there in the summer, but dead children were washing up on the beaches there. And around that same time, I read a fantastic sentence which really changed my life. And it was an old sentence written by an Irish politician 250 years ago, but still oh so valid today. And his words go as follows. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. Now, there are a lot of good people in the world. Good people, but passive, hiding in the shadows of the periphery. I used to be one of them. But then my man in the mirror, he started talking to me. And he asked me 4 very easy to remember questions, very tough ones. And his first one was, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about those dead children or the still living children in Yemen, in Syria, and in all these other places? What are you doing so that you become part of the solution and you do not remain as part of the problem? And for many, many months, I really had no answer. So he fired off his second question. And he said, and I should follow with my slides, he said, if not now, if not you, who? You are a fortunate one. You have been born in a peaceful and prosperous place. There is 0 merit in that, 100% luck. Now, don't you think that this big piece of luck deserves that you give back something very big to the world as well? I still had no answer. So then he fired off his third question, and he said, if not now, when? How much longer is your fear going to be stronger than your courage? How much stronger is your fear going to be than your going and taking action? And how much longer are you going to listen to those nasty little voices in your head that say things to you like, you cannot do this? Who the hell do you think you are? I mean, you're not good enough. And you're just a small shrimp in a huge ocean. And what are people gonna think about you? What are they gonna say about you? What is your family gonna think about you or say about you? Your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your children, your husband, your wife. We all know those little voices in our head, right? And then my man in the mirror fired off his last question to me. And when you get to my age, it becomes a very important question. What will be your legacy when you do not act now? Will you be able to live with yourself in 2035 when you will be 75 years old and making up the balance of your life? Will you be able to live with yourself then, knowing that now you should have acted, but that you did not because of too much fear and egocentricity? So it's a powerful person, right? Your man or your woman in the mirror. Now, have you spoken to him or her already? And if you did you have any answers? And then there is a second step on your journey within, on that start track within. It is to ask yourself one very simple question. And I'm very confident that all of us here in this wonderful theater will be able to remember it very easily. It is one word. Why? Not the why of your studies, not the why of your jobs, not the why of your relationships, but the why of your existence. Why are you here? What is your unique contribution to make? Powerful questions, right? Now, I can guarantee you, and I speak from experience in the meantime, that when you find and live your purpose, magic happens. And it's an important question to all these young people here in the room. When you find and live your purpose, magic happens. You will have very clear vision, and you will have steadfast direction. You will have passion, and you will have lots of energy, persistence, tenacity. But above all, you will have profound moments of joy, and your life will have great meaning. Because when you live your purpose, you will connect to the greatest depths of life. Now, there are a lot of people with a lot of talents in this room, right? And there are a lot of people who have questions like, what is breaking my heart? Those are very important questions because they are the questions of how you can find your why. And they are not my questions. They were taught to me by a very special lady. And that is another dimension when you live your purpose. You will meet fantastic people along the way. People you would otherwise never have met. Now, the lady who told me those two questions that I will show you again on the screen, she's called Scilla Elworthy. I would never have met her if I would not have worked on World Peace 2035. She's a 3-time nominee for the Nobel Peace Prize. And she's also a highly successful TED talker. You can find her easily on YouTube. Now, she asked people those two questions. What breaks your heart? And then, what are your talents and your skills? And then you bring those two together, and you will be well on your way of finding and then living your purpose. And there are a lot of people here, as I said, in this room, whose heart are broken by things in life, but who also have a lot of talents. So there is a lot of things that we could already do here in this room with all the people present here. And it will be very important to move beyond the cocoon of our own lives. Because a cocoon gives a false sense of security, a false sense of safety. But above all, a cocoon creates a perception of separation, us and the rest. Such a fundamental problem in the world, right? Now you can then ask, okay, what can I do? And then we live in fantastic times. I have good news. There's a lot of things that we can do. There is so much possibilities in this world today that were not present even 10 years ago. For instance, you know, Facebook, our Facebook page, we have 810,000 followers after 1.5 years active as World Peace. 10 years ago, that would not have been possible. This summer, we will reach the mark of 1 million. And there is power in that, because you can all go to that Facebook page, you can all like it, but more importantly, you can share it and spread the message, because you can activate what is the ninth wonder of the world in today's world. It's called the friend of your friend. Okay? And then, when you have activated the friend of your friend, you will see that lots of things can happen. So when you go and really live your purpose, there is nothing more that you can do. It's the biggest contribution that you can make. Because when you go on that journey that I just described, when you meet your person in the mirror, when you answer your why, you will become the best version of yourself. And that's the biggest contribution that you can make to yourself and to the rest of the world. And there is one last magic thing that happens when you do live your purpose. And it is that person in the mirror, that man or that woman in the mirror that asks you all these tough questions will stop asking you questions. And instead, he or she will hug you with so much love that you have never felt it before. And you will, in that moment, feel connected to all and everything. And then he or she will speak those magic words that you see on the screen. I am so proud of you. Because when your fear was strong, your courage was stronger. And when you were all alone with your purpose and the dream around it, you started walking anyway. Just know, when you are on your journey within, you never walk alone. We are all here with you, all that have come before us. Now stand on our shoulders and become the person you were meant to become. Be the person you were meant to be, and do what you were meant to do. Go now and peace the world. Thank you.